the heck? Oh no. Hi folks, Period Woodworker here. Welcome back to the shop. We have got a problem. This vise looks like it's going to fall off of my workbench. What do we do? I know what to do. Folks, let me tell you, these modern workbenches are wonderful. They're built solid, they're built sturdy, but as the old saying goes, you can't fool Mother Nature. In the same vein, you cannot change the humidity and the factor that the humidity will play on your workbench. On a lot of these workbenches, this is a Sjoberg. I'm sure it's a factory workbench of some sort. And many of you probably have these. Many of you probably have other manufactured workbenches. I picked this one up when Sjoberg was making the transition from the square dog holes to the round dog holes and making some other changes of them. I dearly love this one, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to it because I like the square dog holes. I have a lot of square dogs that fit in it. There's an oak one that I made, and there's a metal one. I think it came with it, or I got it, or something else like that. But let me show you what the problem is with this vise. Okay, this is an easy fix. It's an easy adjustment. I end up having to do this 2 or 3 times a year, depending upon the humidity and the weather and stuff like that. And it's relatively simple to do if you know what to do. So I thought I would just take just a few minutes as kind of a hint or a tip video and show you what I do when my Sjoberg workbench tail vise it becomes either way too tight to even turn, and that's in the summer when the humidity goes up, or it's loose like this in the winter. It's about the 5th of February or the 4th of February, and this is how it has. So let me show you. First thing you want to do is take out your bench dogs, if you have any dogs in there. All you're going to need is a screwdriver. And if you open up your vise, you can see that there are some screws. There's a screw right here, and there's another screw that's a little harder to see because it's kind of dark back here. Oh my. If you see, these are really loose. So how I adjust mine is I tighten my vise almost all the way up. Oh, listen to the play in that vise. Take it tight and then back it off. And all you do is you turn these screws in until they are somewhat tight. And let me see if I can get the camera to show you. And all you do is just snug them up in the winter. That screw is just about to fall out. And I take it until it's just snug. And then I do it on the other one. Yeah, those screws were really loose. Again, just snug it up. And till you have no play, but then you can't tighten it too hard or it will be hard to undo. And now the vise has no play in it. It's easy to go in and out. There's no movement in it. And in the winter or in the summer, when it starts getting where you can't hardly turn it, you don't want to wait too long because you don't want the wood to swell and compress the screw holes that are in there, because they'll hold in the same place and the wood will compress. So as soon as it starts getting tight, then I just come out and I just tighten them back. I take them all the way loose and then retighten them until they're just barely snug. And that's about all you do. One other thing that I want to show you. There's one thing that usually happens to this that's also weather related or humidity related. And I usually don't make an adjustment to this because I don't want it to get worse over the years. And it might not get worse, but I will get in the winter when the humidity is really down, my bench will develop a little bit of a shake. It will wobble a little bit back and forth. And the reason is because since the wood has shrunk, these bolts that attach to the stringers that run between the legs, they get loose. And I can tighten them up. I've done it before to see if it takes care of it, and it'll take every bit of the play out of this. But if I don't need to, like if I'm not going to be doing a lot of work or a lot of planing on the bench where I want it to be super rigid, I usually don't make an adjustment to that. Now you can, but if you do, you want to be sure and undo it in the winter, in the summer when the humidity returns, because when this wood swells back because of the humidity, it will compress the wood that's behind these screws, and over the years that wood will continue to compress. If you tighten it up every year, it'll keep compressing until at some point it's not going to adjust the way that you want it to do. So that's another thing that you can do that's humidity related, and I just wanted to point that out to you. So folks, I'm glad you came back to visit. This is Period Woodworker again. Thank you for joining me.